Hello, hello, and welcome to the Fairy Coach Tarot channel. My name is Raquel. Thank you for being here, watching my videos, and sharing them. I truly appreciate it. That helps me grow and bring more videos to you. And today we have another interactive tarot. I do mostly interactive because I feel like this way, even if we are not in the same physical place, you play an important role by choosing the deck or the fairy that intuitively calls you. So today we have a pick a deck or pick a fairy, and we are doing a chakra reading. So we look at the 7 main chakras, right? And what advice, what guidance do the spirits of the tarot give towards each chakra, right? To help with energy healing and good energy flow. So let's get started. And as always, I recommend that you are in a place where you're undisturbed and where you can feel relaxed. But now let's ground our energy, center, and connect through the breath. Let's roll those shoulders back, relax the jaw, and move the neck from side to side. Okay. Now let's take a deep inhale in through the nose. Feel your belly expanding. Hold it for a couple of seconds and exhale. Okay, now that we are more grounded, pick a deck or a fairy that calls you at this time, intuitively, without thinking. Ready? Okay. So today we have first our yellow fairy. So for those of you who have picked this one, let's look at what messages do we have for our chakras. And we start first by setting the intention and telling the cards what we would like. So we would like some guidance, some advice on for our 7 main chakras. That is with love and light for our highest good, right? And keeping in mind what the energy right now for each one is. All right, we're going to start with the crown chakra. All right, let's move these out of the way. So we have the crown chakra, 2 for our third eye chakra. And now the throat. Again, 2 cards. And now the bridge between the top and the lower chakras, that it is the hard one. Solar plexus. Oops. Sacral chakra. And the root chakra. All right. So the lower chakras, very straightforward, 1 card for each, but our top chakras seem to have more to tell us. So let's begin with the crown one. And for the crown chakra, we have the Knight of Wands, right? So the question is, what do we need to know and what do we need to do towards a good energy flow for our crown chakra? And that it is our connection to spirit, our spiritual connection. And the response comes from the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is a knight that has a lot of energy, right? Takes action in a very impulsive, fast way. So Wands is the fire element, right? It's our core, our intention. So what it is saying is it is time to be more intentional with the actions you take towards your spirituality. So if you want a good energy flow of your crown chakra, if you want a good energy flow that comes down, that gives that intuitive messages here on the third eye, is about being more intentional and doing more things towards your spirituality. Perhaps you are, or you have a very passive approach to your spiritual path, right? Or perhaps you are not doing much towards it because you have a busy life. So, whatever it is, this night is saying, do more action, right? Be more intentional, whatever it is that your spiritual path is. So, even if you follow a religious path, whatever it is, now it's time to be intentional and try to do things that strengthen that bond spiritually, that strengthen the bond in a way that you feel close and you feel that you resonate with your spiritual path or your spiritual journey, and you can grow in it, right? So be intentional and take action. So do things that strengthen that, right? So that's the advice. Now, what is the advice and guidance for our third eye chakra? And answers the sun and the Nine of Swords. All right, so it seems at first sight these are contradicting messages, right? Because the Sun, the most positive card in Tarot and a major arcana, and then paired up with this minor arcana card that is the Nine of Swords, that is all about pessimism, right? So, how does this apply to the advice for our third eye chakra, right? And the sun is kind of letting us know that the energy right now is really good around our third eye chakra. We may be very in tune with our intuition, right? So it says, hey, things seem to be going very well. And the only obstacle that may be in your way is sometimes staying too much in your head, right? So sometimes double guessing your intuition and trying to reason about things that you sense or you feel, right? So, seem to have strong intuition. You seem to be getting clear messages. However, sometimes you may try to reason in logic, right? And stay in your head too much. So, here the reflection is, when have you doubted your intuition, right? And how can you stay out of your head so much so you intuition, although and let me know if you want me to make a video of this, of the different clairs, the clairaudience, the clairsentience, and the clairgustians, and all the ones that are there. But intuition is mostly a sense, a feeling, even if like sometimes can feel as we are getting a message, but mostly it's a sensation, right? Something that tells us something that we know, but we do not know how we know, right? And also that gut feeling. So when we try to rationalize and say, okay, that doesn't make sense, or try to stay in our head too much, we are, instead of making our intuition stronger, we are making it weaker because we're trying to put rational where there isn't any, right? Where it's a feeling, it's a sense. So right now, see all the times that your intuition has been right and reflect, why am I doubting my intuition, or how have I been doubting it, and how can I stay out of my head when it comes to intuition? Because by staying out of your head, your intuition will grow. Now, let's look at your throat chakra. And the advice, as much as some people are afraid of it, comes from the major arcana 13, death, and the Four of Pentacles. So a lot of people say, okay, what positive advice or what advice would such a scary card that is death bring? So death is all about change and transformation, right? And it is, some people think that death needs to be something sad or suffering, or, and sometimes it's not that. Sometimes there are some things that need to end in order for others to be reborn. And sometimes death brings a transformation, brings a change that is much needed, right? So, in this case, for your throat chakra, the death card is telling you, okay, it is time to make a change, to make an important change when it comes to your communication style, because this is the throat chakra. This is towards your communication style, right? And living your truth in a way. And there has to be a big change that transform the way you communicate to others, right? So instead of holding on to things, right, to things that you need to say, to things that can actually create a good um, or that bring forth something needed for your life. It's about changing that. So you may be holding too tightly to things and not talking about them. And it says, change your communication style. Let it flow. Let it be more open and more engaging and more about saying the things that you want right now, right? Not keeping things inside so much. So transform your communication style by not keeping things inside and saying what you want. Now, let's look at let's put them in order, at the heart chakra, the bridge between the upper and the lower chakras. And it answers the judgment card. So we have a major arcana, the page of swords, and the king of swords. So we have a lot of swords, right? But it begins with the judgment. So the judgment card, right, when it comes to the energy around our heart chakra and what we can do, excuse me, what we can do for a good energy flow in that chakra. It is actually, this has everything to do with our past, right? And also how we may be judging ourselves in regards to our past, or how we may be judging our past. Okay, so we may be looking at our past in a way that it's very judgmental. We may be looking at our past in a way where we judge ourselves for the choices we made and the path we've taken. So judgment is saying it is time to release all that, right? Learn from the past. Let the past be kind of what guides you in the things that you've learned from it, but do not be so judgmental about the past or about your role into the past, right? So instead of that, it is about learning that there are some lessons, right, that the past has taught you. Understanding, being more compassionate with the role that you played in the past, knowing that there may have been a time for growth, right? And that by learning these lessons, instead of being resentful towards the past, instead of being judgmental towards the past, you adopt a position of empowerment, right? And because you're getting two swords, and swords is the air element. The swords are telling me also that in this case, and based on the cards that you got for your throat chakra, that talking or processing by talking to somebody, or even by bringing it up, or even writing it down, right? Things about the past that right now may hold that energy back in a way, right? So a good exercise, as this is the air element, to become this king, to feel more empowered with your heart, the energy around your heart chakra. You could journal right now and think about what aspects of your past you may have been judgmental about, or what lessons from the past you can bring to the future without being resentful or judging yourself harshly, right? And either writing it down by journaling or processing this with somebody can be a way of empowerment. Okay, let's look at the solar plexus. So we have the solar plexus energy, and the response or the guidance comes from the hanged man, right? Here is our self-esteem, our willpower. And the hanged man, um, interestingly, because here we're looking at the past, it says, all right, you may have to change, well, obviously, your point of view, right? So pause, take some time to reflect on how you have been looking at yourself, how you have been, and following with this, how you have been judging yourself, right? Try to see your life from another point of view. The things that you've been harsh about, the things that you judge yourself for in the past, that you have problems communicating, right? This is all about kind of playing devil's advocate. So take a look at the things that you've been saying to yourself and look at your life in a different way, right? What could you do different? How, instead of being harsh and judging yourself, what have you accomplished? What things have you done well? So this card is a card that says pause, change your perspective, right? And because here we have that there may be some things that you've from the past that you've judged yourself harshly on, or that you looked at yourself different. It says, be more compassionate, just look at the lessons and it will feel empowered, and maybe even talk or process what has happened, because something here needs to change. This, that is the solar plexus and that self-esteem, say you need to look at yourself different. Maybe you are either not seeing everything that you're capable of, you are either hard on yourself or full of self-doubt, that it could be. So you need to look at yourself with different eyes. Pause, rest, reset, change the perspective, and also change the perspective on the things that you are called to do right now, right? There has to be a change of perspective, right? And mostly on how you have judged or looked at yourself. Now, let's look at the sacral chakra, and that is what we bring into what we create, right? And this is the Justice card. And the Justice card is just bringing to our attention the importance of being balanced in the different areas of our life. This is a major arcana that says, okay, your sacral chakra right now is saying, perhaps you are putting more emphasis in one area of your life. If there is something that you're trying to bring forth, to create, right, in your life, it is about finding more of a balance, right, instead of obsessing about something. It is about being more fair to yourself and your abilities. So it's interesting here because these two chakras are very linked together. So, and they are both major arcana cards that we got. So there needs to be a change of perspective and a different way that you look at yourself. You need to understand that your life must be a balance of different things, right? So, not obsessing or just thinking about one area. Could it be work? Could it be your relationships or anything? That your life is to be lived in balance. And so, change the perspective of how you see yourself and your role in your life and have a more balanced approach to your life in general. Now, the root chakra, and this is the Eight of Swords. So, the root chakra is all about security, right? How secure we feel in our world. And the Eight of Swords is kind of saying, you know, we may not be feeling completely secure right now. And the Eight of Swords is saying there may be an abundance of thoughts that are creating that insecurity. So this card comes with a reflection. What thoughts are you entertaining that are creating insecurity? And how can you replace those thoughts for others that are more empowering? Okay, like these two cards that are empowered to move forward. Okay, quick recap. Take time to be more intentional about your spirituality and do more things towards that. Know that there is a very good energy towards your intuition right now, but stay out of your head and stop trying to think so logically about it. Intuition is sensed, right? Time to change the way you communicate. There has to be a change and a transformation on how you communicate. Do not keep things inside and say more what you want. Stop judging your past so harshly. Instead, look at the lessons you can take from the past that and become empowered by them and more secure on the future you're creating. It is time to change perspective and to look at yourself and the role you play in your life different. Things need to be more balanced at this time, and you need to be more fair to yourself. Examine what thoughts are you having that create a sense of insecurity in your life, and how can you replace those thoughts for something more positive and more empowering. All right, I hope you enjoyed your chakra reading this week. These chakra readings tend to be quite long, so thank you for going through this with me, and I hope you liked it. Give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this message if you feel somebody could benefit from it. And again, reach out if you want a pre-recorded reading sent directly to you, where we look at your particular situation, or make an appointment for a live tarot session with me. All right. Let's go for the blue fairy for those of you who picked that one. Okay. All right, for those of you who picked this deck and this fairy. All right, the blue fairy. Let's set the intention for these cards. Move their energy around a little bit. And let them know what we want. We would like guidance, advice, messages for our 7 main chakras in love and light for our highest good. All right. Ooh, they are jumping. All right, we have 2 for our crown chakra. 1, let's just put them like this. 1 for our third eye. And 1 for our throat chakra. Heart chakra. Solar plexus. 2 for our sacral. And 1 for our root chakra. Okay, let's begin. Let's take these two cards. It's hard to move everything around here. And the cards that answer the Eight of Pentacles and Major Arcana 15, the Devil. So, what is the advice from the spirit of these two cards, right? And the Eight of Pentacles is it's a lot of hard work. You see how hard this person is working. So it is this card that says, this person, this figure here has been working hard towards something that they really want, right? But here we have this on our crown chakra, that is our spirituality, right? And what the Eight of Pentacles is saying is right now, the energies around your crown chakra are very solid. So you may have a good spiritual path that works for you, or a religious path, whatever it is, right? Now, it is important, this is saying, that you do not. How would you say it, that you do not take your spiritual path or whatever faith you have right now in a way that detaches you from the basic, from what we would say are the basic tenets of goodness and love, that is, no matter what faith, no matter what spiritual journey we're in, there are some tenets of love and goodness that we need to have present. So this is saying, okay, there is a solid foundation spiritually, but you need to practice discernment on when your spirituality is, or your faith is guiding you towards the coming together of love, or when it is actually isolating you, or creating a separation between you and others, right? So, very plainly, good foundation spiritually. So, laying a good foundation spiritually and making sure that your spirituality is something that creates bonds and that shows love, right? At the end of the day, the divine spirit, great spirit, God, goddess, source, universe, however you want to call it, it's all about that love and light, that goodness, right? So it's very important to have discernment about the messages that you hear, to make sure they are bringing you closer to love and not creating a separation between you and others. Okay, now the third eye chakra, and the third eye is the Four of Pentacles. So we're getting a lot of pentacles here. And the Four of Pentacles, look, again, great foundations, very thoughtful, right? These pentacles is the earth element, all right? And putting it together with this eight is just saying, okay, we are laying a foundation here for our spiritual beliefs, and that energy that comes with intuition and messages that we get, those gut feelings too, right? Now, based on these three cards together, laying the good foundation spiritually, this same good foundation that this person is laying here, creates a good balance or a good way for us. However, at the same time, we have the Major Arcana 15 here giving us as a kind of like a warning of, okay, do not be inflexible, right? So take your faith, take your spirituality as a way that lays a foundation for you, that lays parameters, but remember to be flexible. Remember the tenet of love, and also of cooperation and not detachment and separation from others, right? So, yes, your spirituality or your faith should lay a good foundation for you to get these messages from the divine, to set a good foundation for your life, to have that security. But keep in mind love and flexibility. All right? Use that discernment here as well. And here, for the throat chakra, it is the star that is coming with the answer, right? So, what do we need to do towards our communication? And the star is saying, right now, it seems that your energy around communication and your throat is flowing well. There is a good flow of energy. Okay, sorry I had to pause the video for a second as I needed some water for my throat, so much talking. So here we have the star, as I said, good energy flow. And what the star is also telling us towards our throat chakra energy is to use our communication as a form of healing, right? To make sure that the way that we communicate is healing towards others, is loving, right? Is that our communication or how we use our words, how we choose the words, could be the light for somebody else. So it's mostly about using your communication in a way that it is healing, loving, and that helps others feel seen. All right. So overall, really good energy around your throat chakra. Now, let's look at the heart chakra, that bridge between the top and lower chakras, and this comes from the King of Swords. Interestingly, we also got the King of Swords in the last deck towards our heart chakra. The King of Swords is a very powerful king, right? Is that I'm sorry, that male energy, right? So it is more, it's not as gentle. It can be a little bit harsh, a little bit cold and detached, right? But at the same time, the King of Swords, when it brings you advice or it brings you a message to help, in this case, your heart chakra, is saying, okay, it is time to sit in your power, to know that the way you talk and the way you think can be your best allies here, right? So we have that here, you have good energy around your communication, and the only thing they are telling you is keep that communication about helping others feel empowered, right? Like shine a light to others, right? And the king says, and also make sure, following with communication, because it's swords, is their element, that you are empowering yourself and setting boundaries around your heart. That means that if you have a very loving heart that wants to be there for other people and always try to help, that it is great, but you have to have some healthy boundaries, and sometimes you have to say no to protect your energy and to protect your heart. Okay, now let's look at the solar plexus. And the energy around our solar plexus comes from the Knight of Wands, right? Again, we've seen the Knight of Wands before today, and the Knight of Wands is a lot of action, fast action, momentum, right? So these self-esteem, willpower, right, all around our solar plexus. And it's saying, okay, it is time for action, to move forward, to do things and not to think so much about them. But if there are things that you want right now, put action behind the one. So behind wanting something, put action, do something about it. There is momentum for you, right? So do things towards what you want, right? Take action towards them. Now, let's look at the sacral chakra. Hold on, it was like this. So this one goes first. And the sacral chakra is very united with that solar plexus. And it comes from the Six of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. All right. So we have that you need to do action, that you need to put action behind the things that you want. That means doing things, not only thinking about them, not only planning, not only wanting them or having that joy about them, but it is also about doing things, right? And it says, remember that some of the most successful things we can do is when we take action towards what we want, but we understand that we need to have good allies, right? So at this time is saying, okay, find a good support team or be able to use your energy to be there for others as well. So if there is something you want and you're taking action, how is this going to benefit others? What can I do that benefits them as well as me, right? And how can I create a partnership that with somebody that helps me towards going after the things I want, right? So take action towards what you want, but these cards are saying also look for collaboration, right? To bring something forward, because this is the energy of creation, of bringing something forward. At this time is about collaborating with others and not going at it alone, right? And that's going to help that energy be even more creative. And for our root chakra, we have the Ace of Wands. So the root chakra, it is all about security. How does the Wands card, right? What advice does the Ace of Wands brings towards our security? And the Ace of Wands say, your security right now, or the advice it gives, it's all about not staying in your comfort zone. It's about taking opportunities, taking things that light you up and going after them. So these three, the three lower chakras have the same message, more or less, that it is take action, go after the things that you want. Do not stay in your comfort zone. Find, here you have once again, and it says find good partnerships, good people around you that perhaps make you feel more confident, but take the opportunities, take the step, take the lead, and take action towards the things that you want right now. This is why you're called into something, is because there is a reason, and that's why you have that fire inside. But it's all about action, right? And taking opportunities, not staying all cozy up in your comfort zone, but taking opportunities, finding also ally partnerships, people that you can help and that can help you. All right. Quick recap, because to see that energy around your chakras right now and what the advice of the cards is. So we have our crown chakra, right? These chakras that are also very united, just like these ones. And it's saying, all right, you need to use your spirituality or your faith to lay a good foundation for your life, to give you structure and to guide you, but not allowing your spirituality to separate you from others. Remember, love. And even though you lay a good structure, even if your faith and helps you identify messages from the divine, helps you stay in course for your life. Do not separate yourself from others. And remember that love is the basic message of any good spiritual or religious path. Now, when it comes to your throat chakra, things seems to be very good energy. Now, use your words to heal, to empower, and to light the way for others, right? It's the star. So if you are good at communicating a message, bring that message forth. Now, it may be time around your heart chakra, that energy center, to set boundaries, right? To say no sometimes to protect yourself. The lower chakras here are saying time to take action, take opportunities, do not stay in your comfort zone, find allies that help you at this time, and that you can also help them. So collaboration. All right, I hope you liked your reading. Give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share the message, and please do not hesitate to reach out if you want to learn more about my offerings and how I can help you with a private session with me online or getting a pre-recorded reading. All right, let's look at the purple fairy right now. And that's the last one. I know these chakra readings are long because it is a very long spread. So thank you, thank you, thank you for your patience and for being here. Okay, the purple fairy. All right, so for those of you who have picked the purple fairy, let's get started and see what messages do the spirits of the tarot have for our 7 main chakras. All right, let's set the intention and let the cards know what it is that we want. We would like guidance messages for our 7 main chakras in love and light for our highest good and for that good energy flow of our chakra system. All right, let's begin with the crown chakra. Let's just move things out of the way. Third eye, and 3 here. Let me just. This is a very long spread, and sometimes nothing fits for me. All right, maybe we have to move her out of the way. There we go. Okay, now the heart chakra. Chakra, and then we have the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, and the root. The root chakra. Perfect. Okay, so let's begin with the message from for our crown chakra. And the answer comes from Major Arcana 16, the Tower, and the Queen of Bells, right? Okay, so what is the main message here when it comes to that crown chakra, that it is the connection to our spirituality? And the Tower brings a message of it's not destruction because it's giving us advice, right? So we do not see it as telling us or predicting that something bad will happen. Remember, and I try to say this in all my videos because it is important. It is important when you work with a tarot reader to ask them how do they use the tarot, right? The tarot is a tool, and it can be used in many different ways. So we can use the tarot for, some people use it for prediction, others for in a therapeutic way, others for self-reflection, others for meditation, others even for creativity. So how do they use it? I use the tarot for guidance and advice. I use it as a connection to the divine, So getting messages from my spirit team, from the divine, so advice and guidance on how to move forward, right? So when I do this reading, that's the chakra reading, it is what advice does spirit give us towards each particular chakra. And in this case, we got the tower. And the tower is telling us, okay, something needs to, I don't want to use the word destroy, although that's what comes into mind, but something needs to be teared down, okay, towards our spirituality. There may be some, that does not mean that there is something wrong with the spiritual path you chose or with your faith, if that's the way, if that's what resonates for you. So if you chose a faith or a spiritual path, that's your personal connection. There must have been something that has called you into that. Now, what this could mean is to examine, do you feel that you resonate, that your values, what you believe in resonates with the spiritual path or faith or religious ways that you've chosen? All right? If you do not resonate with what you have chosen so far, the tower is telling you, okay, let's tear it down and let's begin building that spirituality again. That means choosing a path that aligns, resonates, and calls you and feels more like a spiritual home to you. Now, if I'm asking you, do you resonate? Do you align? Do you feel at home spiritually in the path that you've chosen? And you say yes. Then examine what about that path is not feeling good to you. What adjustments do you need to take to feel more at home in the faith, spirituality, or religion that you have chosen? All right. And the queen is saying, yes, exactly. You need to feel at home. And once you feel at home in your spirituality, is about nurturing your faith and nurturing your path. But it all begins by feeling at home, right? So I gave you a lot of questions for reflection here. And once you've answered, once you have created that awareness for yourself, then nurture that spiritual home that you've created for yourself. And that's what will help your energy around the crown chakra. Now, let's look at that third eye, right? And look what we have. We have the Ace of Leaves, right? Of that air, those leaves. All right. So here is saying, all right, this is the third eye, usually intuition, right? How we get those messages from the divine, what our intuition is calling us to. And here is saying, all right, there may be a thought or an intuitive nudge that you are having that you need to pay attention to. So, what is this card making you reflect on? What is something that it keeps coming back? It feels like it's a thought, or maybe a thought about having a conversation. Something is nudging you, right? And what is that? And it seems that it is something that has a potential, right, for either a conversation that you need to have with somebody, has the potential of ideas that will be very important in your life, but there is something that may be nudging you intuitively. It's a message from the divine in this case that you need to pay attention to. So, what is something that keeps coming, circling around your mind? That's This card is saying pay attention to it right now. All right, let's put them in order like this so I can pick them up. And this is for our throat chakra. And the throat chakra, look at what we have here. Card 11, Major Arcana 11, and then we have the Knight, all right, and we also have the Five of Bells. Okay, interesting, interesting, interesting. All right, so in this case, right, this card that would be the Strength card in Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, because this deck is more based on a Marseille Tarot. The Strength card is number 11, when it would be number 8 in Rider-Waite-Smith. So this is the Strength card, right? And here we are looking at our throat chakra and our communication and how we relate to our truth, right? And when the Strength card comes in relation to that throat chakra, what it is saying is, how comfortable do you feel communicating at this time? Do you feel strong enough to stand up and say certain things, right? And it's asking you to really look into that. Are you feeling strong enough to say some things that need to be said right now, right? And if not, what would help you feel stronger, right? It's encouraging to talk about something that right now feels like that needs to be said, in the sense of, okay, it is something important for you, and you may not have felt strong to say it, and the cards are saying you need to gain strength to talk about these things that are very important to you, and go ahead and do it, right? And by doing so, there is an important change in a good way that will happen. So if there is a change, something that you've been wanting to happen, or that has that needs to be changed, and it is because there is a conversation, right, that needs to take place, that you need to initiate, and it's telling you that perhaps right now it is time to look at ways in which you can feel stronger about really speaking out about this thing that is important to you and that you want, right? So it will create an important change. You need to be the one initiating it, but first, regain strength. Feel secure about what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, and have that strength to bring it forth. And this card here, right, that is saying, okay, because this is the air element. So there is an intuitive nudge of like something that you keep thinking about or circling around, right? That you, what is that? And perhaps it is time to, because there is something that you need to say, you need to feel strong about it, but you need to initiate that that conversation, and then some changes that need to happen will start going that way. All right. What about our heart chakra? Oh, and we have hearts, right, for our heart chakra. And it is the four of hearts, or the four of cups could be. All right. And okay, so this is usually a card where we're holding too tight to something. It is sometimes a card of fear, right? Fear of what we will lose if we soften our grip, right? So for our energy here, it says there is something emotionally, right, that causes emotional fear. There is some emotional fear about around something. And the four is saying, stop holding so tight and loosen your grip. Be okay with this thing that you're afraid to lose or afraid that it will happen. Make peace with it. It's not saying that what you are afraid will happen, that thing that you have that emotional fear around will happen. It's just saying for your energy to flow right now, you need to loosen the grip. You need to try to control so much that what you're afraid of will happen. Know that you will be okay no matter what. So loosen that control, that tight fist towards something, and that will help your energy around your heart chakra flow better. Now, what about the solar plexus? And we have Major Arcana 13, the Death card, all right? The card of changes and transformation, all right? And we have it on here, the solar plexus, right? Our willpower, that self-esteem, right? And this card always saying, okay, it's time to make some changes, to cut some things that are not working out of our life, right? So when it comes to that, your self-esteem right now, right? There may be ways that perhaps you are talking to yourself that are bringing you down, or there may be something that is bringing your self esteem down. And this card is just telling you it's time to look at it. So, your homework or your reflection here is, what is bringing my self esteem down? What is making me feel powerless? And how can I cut that out of my life to feel stronger and more empowered? And it's interesting here in that heart chakra that it's that bridge, you got the Four of Cups that it's saying loosen your grip. Right now, there is an emotional fear about something that creates that energy not to maybe flow the way it should. And it's because you need to loosen the grip. And here you're saying there is something that needs to be cut, there is something that needs to be changed, right? That it is affecting your self esteem. So, right now, identify what that emotional fear and what things in your life are bringing your self esteem down. And just like here, you need to loosen the grip towards your self esteem. There may be something that you need to either change, a belief, or something that you need to take out of your life and cut off because it may be bringing your self esteem down. Now, our sacral chakra. And look who we got. We got the King of Leaves, that it is that air element, right? And what is the King of Leaves telling us right now? That it is this king that is the King of Swords that can communicate. He is great at strategy, right? So our sacral chakra is our creativity. And this king is all about strategy. And it is, okay, whatever it is that you want to bring into life, right? Whatever it is that you want to bring into life right now, it is about having a strategy and a plan in place. So, your homework with this card, what plan or design a plan with a great strategy to bring to life what it is that you want right now to bring forth, right? And that could be in any area, relationship, professional, right? Financial, what, any area, or even health, right? What it is that you want to bring into life, and it is all about planning and strategy, right? And I would say even more, because these two, I always tell you, these two chakras are very united. And it's saying, okay, maybe it's that working on your self esteem and taking anything out that makes you feel powerless is the best strategy. All right. And to give you security, the root chakra, we have, excuse me, the Six of Acorns, right? And what is the Six of Acorns telling us? right? That it's all about that your success, excuse me, it's all about how you handle your relationships, right? So it is a card that says, in order to feel secure at this time, is about handling your relationships and how you approach them, right? How you approach your relationships. So even though it is the acorns and all of this, it's all about approaching your relationships, the things that you want in life. So it's the steps you take towards that that will make you successful. Quick recap for you. Um, First, your crown chakra is telling you to examine your beliefs, your religious beliefs, faith, or a spiritual path that you have chosen. Make sure that you feel at home with it. If not, make a change. And whenever you find your path or whatever needs to be changed, nurture that and give it your energy. Just make sure that whatever spiritual path you've chosen feels like home to you. There may be something nudging you intuitively that could be about communicating something. So pay attention to this thought that you keep having around your brain that says something that you need to do. It's about building your strength towards communicating what you want, right? So you can create the changes necessary in your life. There may be emotional fear around your heart chakra. So emotionally, you need to loosen the grip. You need to stop being afraid of losing something. And it does not mean it will happen. It's just that you need to stop that fear, right? There may be something also that needs to be changed about your self esteem, something that needs to be removed from your life, or something that needs a radical change so you don't feel powerless. And towards those things that you want to bring into life is about a good plan and strategy, right? And to bring you security and success is about your relationships with those around your life. All right, I hope you enjoyed your reading. Long chakra readings today. Give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share these messages. There is somebody who may benefit from them. And remember to reach out to me if you want more information about my offerings and my services, both live sessions that can be done on the phone or via video call, as well as pre-recorded readings. There is something for every budget. So, and if you want more information, really, I don't mind answering any questions of how I can help you with the tarot. Through whatever it is that you're going through right now or happening in your life. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day and brightest blessings your way. Thank you for watching.